Next week, I am going to be calling this motion to vacate. Absolutely calling it. I can't wait to see Democrats go out and support a Republican speaker. I really don't give a rat's ass what anybody up here says about what I'm doing. I care completely about the people of this country.
The language. That was perpetually peeved Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene this week, vowing to follow through on her threat to oust House Speaker Mike Johnson for holding a vote to send more military aid to Ukraine. MTG's comments came a day after House Democratic leaders said they would vote to table or dismiss her motion to remove the speaker. By making either one of those moves, Democrats would effectively kill MTG's motion to vacate, even if more Republican lawmakers support her. But make no mistake about it, chaos still reigns supreme in the Republican-controlled House, and Speaker Johnson may not always have Democrats willing to rescue him from the extreme right. They'll stand by him against MTG on this one, but it's going to be case by case after that if more attempts are made. Joining me now, Democratic Congresswoman Annette Barragan of California. She is the chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. Chair Barragan, thank you very much for coming to the Saturday show.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Great to be here.
So do you stand by the House Democratic leaders saying they'll rescue Mike Johnson's speakership from MTG?
What they're telling the members is vote your conscience. That's what they're telling members. There are clearly some members who are saying this is the most anti-LGBTQ plus speaker in American history. I don't want to be that person to save him. Some people are saying he is Mr. Election Denier. He's for, white Christian nationalism and wants more churches to be involved. So there's that set of people who said, I'm not going to help. I'm not going to do anything. And then there's other folks who definitely feel, look, he did the right thing. He put the Ukraine aid. Let's not give any air and any more coverage to the joke of Marjorie Taylor Greene, because she's really not there for the American people. She's not there to get anything done. She just wants the drama. And that's, I think, what we're trying to move past to make sure we're governing.
Which camp are you in?
Well, we'll have to see how it goes. I kind of leaning in the first camp.
Right.
At the end of the day, we just need to make sure we continue to move on to govern. We have a lot of other things to do, like the FAA authorization bill, the farm bill. We need to make sure kids have access to SNAP benefits and food. So we do want to see things move forward. And this is not, I don't think, the time to be, getting another 20 votes on a speaker.
Okay, and I just want to get confirmation. Just tell me, am I right in my reporting that Democrats are like, okay, MTG, we'll save you, Mike Johnson, but anyone who makes this move after that, we're going to do it on a case-by-case basis?
Absolutely. I don't think this is a free range. I think this is a one-time, just move past this and take the air out of this story and out of her.
All right, so let's switch gears and talk about this Time magazine profile of Donald Trump this week, where the article says he plans, and I'm quoting here, to launch a massive deportation operation that would target millions of people, and he would, quote, rely mostly on the National Guard to round up and remove undocumented migrants who, he says, quote, aren't civilians. And he says that as a way of justifying the use of the military inside the United States. Your reaction to that?
This should sound the alarm bell for everybody, especially Latinos. Trump is the #1 enemy to Latinos, and he is saying it. Believe him when he says he's going to be a dictator on day one. Believe it when he says he's going to go round up people. People were already scared in the first term, who were citizens, who said, is he going to reverse my citizenship? Imagine now he's going to go out into communities. He's going to have the National Guard. He's going to round people up. He's going to deport them, and they could be citizens, and there would just be collateral damage. We've got to make sure everybody knows about his plan, because I know the American people, when you do the polling, they don't want this, right? They want border enforcement paired with pathways to citizenship. What did we see Biden just do yesterday? Just yesterday, he said, we're going to give DACA recipients, our neighbors, our nurses, our doctors, our friends that we've known that have been here, we're going to give them access to the Affordable Care Act. Those are the right things to do to support our immigrant communities and folks who've been here all their lives. Trump's going to deport them. He's going to cause chaos. He's also going to have to build detention camps, massive detention camps. And he's going to have no regard for the law. So it's a real threat.
What did you make of this other unbelievable thing in the Time magazine interview where he said, quote, let red states, excuse me, monitor women's pregnancies and prosecute those who violate abortion bans.
Well, that's huge. We know abortion is a huge issue on the ballot, whether it's in Arizona, where you have a huge Latino population. But who are the folks being impacted by these abortion rules? A lot of them are Latino women and women of color. They're disproportionately impacted by these. So imagine women knowing that the president is authorizing government to follow your pregnancy, to prosecute you if you're breaking the law on getting an abortion pill or trying to get an abortion. It's a scary concept, right? Abortion is about freedom. And this is a Trump presidency that is going to take away your freedoms, and it's going to threaten democracy as we know it.
And yes or no, the issue is on the ballot will be on the ballot in November in 8 states. Will that inure to the Democrats' benefit at the ballot box?
Absolutely. We've already seen it happen in places like Kentucky and Michigan and other places where they've said no. This is going to be the issue that I think is going to help mobilize people, but there's a lot more that's going to help mobilize people as well.
All right. Congresswoman Nanette Barragan, chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, thank you very much for coming to the Saturday show.